The World of Outlaws issued 2 quiet penalties following World Finals last month, and the reason for one of them might surprise you. We'll talk through those, plus possible changes coming for Justin Grant. Let's go. It's Monday, December 9th. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is DIRTRACKR Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. When you choose to go with Kubota, you're gaining a long-term trusted partner in your operation, whether that's farming, construction, or just around your home and property. From unparalleled customer support to generous warranties to give you that peace of mind, a nationwide network of dealers who can assist you with any service need to their full line of Kubota Genuine Parts, they've got you covered every step of the way. And they've got innovative tech like the My Kubota app to help you manage your equipment right from the convenience of your mobile device. With Kubota, it's more than just equipment, it's a promise. To learn more, visit your local Kubota dealer or visit KubotaUSA.com. So I'm assuming everyone tuning in today remembers that little dust-up we had back at World Finals a month ago between Chris Madden and Ricky Thornton Jr. There was contact on track between the two, and then after Madden's Saturday night win, RTJ had words about Madden during his podium interview, and things continued during what was supposed to be the podium photo session. Madden and RTJ ended up chest to chest, and then there was a bit of a scuffle in the aftermath right on the front stretch of the Charlotte dirt track. And if you remember, these two were actually paired up together for that final Lucas run to the championship with RTJ as driver and Chris Madden as crew chief. And it looked like there was some shenanigans involving some crew people, words, maybe a little pushing and shoving. Apparently, the World of Outlaws late model series didn't take too kindly to what happened, and in the days following World Finals, actually issued penalties to some of the involved parties. I had missed this from before, and outside of it existing on the Outlaw website, I can't really find mention of it anywhere else. But the World of Outlaws late model series and World Racing Group did place Chris Madden himself and Team 22 crew member Brian Morabito on probation for what went on, and Team 22, owned by J.R. Smith, was fined $500. The brief announcement of the penalties says, quote, after review of the video footage, 2 members of Team 22 Inc., identified as Madden and Morabito, made clear and aggressive physical contact with 2 other separate individuals, unquote. Both Madden and Morabito will remain on probation until April 30th, 2025. This is obviously not a massive penalty and more just the series saying, hey, don't do that again and we're going to be watching. Team 22 is planning a pick and choose schedule with Madden next season, and they will run the full year with Drake Troutman. Troutman will effectively run his own Team 22 operation from his Pennsylvania shop, though, and a series choice has not yet been announced. Following World Finals, though, this wasn't the only penalty quietly handed out by World Racing Group. There was also a very interesting violation on the sprint car side, and a fine issued there as well. Over the last few seasons, there have been multiple sweeps and crackdowns on using technology to try and signal drivers and pass along information, and this has remained a focus for the various series and events. We saw it at the Chili Bowl in 2024, where they swapped out receivers and did a technology check for the drivers. And this came effectively with no warning. We watched it play out live on Flow Racing as Chili Bowl officials made their way to each car in advance of the night's feature. We've also seen attempts to find and limit smartwatches. Think back to Eldora, late model special events, and in some places, crew guys signaling has been severely curtailed. And that includes at Eldora and with the World of Outlaws late model series. This particular violation, though, happened with the sprint cars, and their regulations have very clear limitations on what crews and drivers are and aren't allowed to do. Specifically, in the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series rulebook, under Chapter 2, Section 1, Subsection O, there's a provision in there about signaling. It says, quote, hand signals, colored gloves, and colored sticks will be permitted for the use of communication with drivers. Flashlights, anything with electricity and or two-way radio communication or any electronic communication with drivers will not be permitted, unquote. And it's that second part that was violated by this team. During Friday night's sprint car feature event, the penalty announcement says that Outlaw Tech Director Ethan McDermott observed a crew member from the Brian Brown team using a laser pointer to signal Brown in the car while he was on track. The crew member was confronted and confirmed he was using it to pass information to Brown. Based on the rule I just shared, this is obviously against policy, and Brown's team was fined $300 for the violation. I'd be curious to know what the system and method actually was for communication with the pointer. I have a hard time believing Brown could discern info while racing under green, but there were a pair of early cautions in that race. So do they have like a Morse code system of laser flashes for various messages? And then where are they pointing the laser that Brown could actually see it? Is he holding his hand out? Are they shooting it at something in the cockpit of the steering wheel? I would love to know the logistics of this. At Charlotte, crew members are standing in turns 3 and 4 outside of the track during action because that's where the work area is. So that 21 crew guy would have had to be up against the fence to shoot the laser toward the car. Also, if you're curious, Brown finished 13th in that race after starting 9th. So whatever the messaging was, it didn't really seem to help Brown not go backwards at least a little bit. He was top 5, though, in both the Thursday and Saturday features. Overall, 2024 was a bit of a down season for Brown as he missed some time with illness and had just 2 wins after 7 victories the year before. Great spot, though, by McDermott. It makes you wonder how much similar behavior is going on. This type of signaling is clearly banned by the rulebook, but it didn't stop the team from doing it anyway. It goes to show how valuable that information is if teams are willing to try this type of illegal signaling. It's also another clear illustration of the kind of constant cat and mouse games that go on between series officials and the race teams. If you want to see those 2 penalty announcements for yourself, you can find them at worldofoutlaws.com/news. As we kept up with the updates on the Chili Bowl there is a curious situation that has popped up with the Chad Boat-owned team. We talked, I think it was last week, about their 6 entries for the event and that 2 are still listed as TBA for the driver. My guess for those 2 was Ty Gibbs and Tanner Holmes, but I've been told in recent days that Holmes Racing in Tulsa will likely come with a different team. So who could drive that other CB Industries entry? Well, the entry list itself gives us a big clue as NOS Energy Drink is listed as a sponsor. And there's chatter going around, including on social media, and Thomas Mesereau mentioned it in a recent YouTube video on his channel, that it could be Justin Grant. The rumor is Grant has departed the Dave Estep-owned team that he's raced for in recent years and that he will join Boat for this event. There's even a paint scheme rendering floating around. Over the past 5 USAC midget seasons, Grant is 3rd in wins, but 2024 definitely off pace for JG. Just a single win at Jefferson County in July, and he was a distant 7th in the championship standings, nearly 300 points behind champion days in Pursley. At the Chili Bowl, Grant has 7 main event appearances in 16 attempts. He had a best finish of 2nd that came in 2021. Last year, though, his D-main exit was his worst Chili Bowl run since an L-main N in 2014. If it's true that JG has left RMS completely, then Boat's team would be a no-brainer landing spot for the Chili Bowl and potentially a USAC midget run. They already have a relationship with NOS and an open seat with Days in Pursley headed for full-time sprint car competition in 2025. This would be the 2nd straight season with a high-profile RMS departure, as Timez himself left this team late in 2023, and now potentially Grant out. Estep and RMS at this point don't have any entries listed for the Chili Bowl. There's obviously still plenty of time for that to happen, but as of right now, no entries. And at last check, we are sitting at 263 Chili Bowl teams entered so far. That's the Daily Show for today. Thanks as always for tuning in and hanging out every single day. Hope you guys have a great Monday out there. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.